Okay, I think we're live now. So... Okay. Okay, sorry for the delay. This is actually my first time live streaming. It's not gonna be perfect. Half don't expect anybody to watch. So, what this event is about is, celebrating 1 year of Velocity Lapse, the time-lapse app for Android. So it's currently in early access, beta version, not yet fully released, and just today, we launched version 0.50 plus 40. So, the reason why this version is kind of a big deal is because it has one of the most requested features so far. So, but before I move on, I kind of want to introduce myself. So my name is Noah Ram. I'm the developer of Velocity Lapse. I began this journey of creating it about a year and a week from today. The very first commit was at the end of, let's see, May last year. And before that I had the idea of creating a time-lapse app. And here a year later, say probably roughly halfway there, made good progress. So, okay, switch here. So, the goal is just simply to create the ultimate time-lapse app for Android, so anyone from a pro to a beginner can create beautiful time-lapse videos from start to finish using their mobile device. I mainly focus on improving the workflow of mobile time-lapse creation. I'll get to how that exactly is later. Velocity Lapse aims to be efficient, easy to use, innovative, inspiring, and liberating. So, yeah, that's a huge undertaking. Indeed. So, what are the keys to a great time-lapse app? Before I began creating the app, I had been using other apps, lots of other apps, and the two things that I found is that for time-lapse, there's two keys: reliability and flexibility. Reliability because, of course, who wants to go through the trouble of setting up a time-lapse, waiting for it to capture, and in some cases waiting for it to render out to a video, only for the app to crash during that time or something non-intuitive to happen. Of course, nobody wants that. So reliability is really probably the main thing for a time-lapse app. This is something I really tried to focus on, and going forward we'll focus on even more. And then secondly, flexibility, because time-lapse often requires outdoor operation. So this is not like an app that just requires, indoor use. So thinking about that, the app should be, be able to be used in a non-limiting way and respond well under a variety of circumstances. So in some cases I've taken time lapses of down in the dirt. So like I've literally put the phone down in the dirt. And so as someone had submitted, like what it used to happen is that since the screen had to be on, sometimes the dirt would hit the screen and it would turn it off. But version 0.5 actually fixes that, because now you can turn the screen off. And so that's just part of reliability and flexibility, is having that feature, which is why I'm really excited about this version. So, my method of creating the app is slow but steady progress towards creating the best possible mobile time-lapse experience. So, I'm really trying to put the user first and make it so that it really is the best mobile app for creating time-lapse. And then I'm also using the app myself in a variety of circumstances, bringing to light different issues and things that can be improved. So, thus far I've taken probably closer to 200 time-lapses myself. Some of them are on the YouTube channel, as you probably already know. But doing this has allowed me to see that, okay, this actually needs to be changed because of one reason or another. Like, for instance, the reason why I have the capture view the way it is right now is because of the screen glare. So like when you're outdoors, like I do a lot of outdoor time lapses, so for me that's like a big use case. And so dealing with screen glare, everything really needs to be very contrasted. So I really try to keep it very, like, a lot of contrast, and so it makes it look very, don't know what my words are. Anyway, basically it helps you so that you can actually see the UI even in sunny locations. So, okay, now the version 0.5 release, as I mentioned before, it has background capture now. So now you can capture with the screen off. Over the past year, this has definitely been one of the most requested features thus far. And I mean, I'm so glad that it finally was able to get it working. So, the other thing, and this is kind of just something personal to me, but I really think it will help other people too, is the default capture resolution setting. So you can now set the default resolution for the capture. And that's just useful because before, when you created a new project, if you wanted it to be 4K, like I usually shoot in 4K, so by default it would previously be set to 1080p or 1920 by 1080. So sometimes I could accidentally forget to change the setting, and so I would end up shooting in not 4K, and then I would be a little bit upset later. So that's resolved now. Excuse me. So, okay, let me see here. Okay, so I just want to quickly go over the future plans for Velocity Lapse. So, I'm planning a redesign of the time-lapse capture view. It's gonna allow manual input of the duration frame limit. So, right now, you actually have 3 sliders, or I should say 1 slider for that. Which, it's a pretty big amount, so you'd be swiping and spinning the slider for a long time if you wanted to set it to a really high amount. Obviously that's not really very good user experience, so I'm planning to be able to have that you can just put in the amount of frames that you want it to go to. And then also interval presets, so common things like, okay, I want to capture clouds, so a preset for clouds, a preset for, stars, just presets so that you don't have to worry about that. And then also, this is actually a really neat request that someone had, is to schedule the start time, and this is something that I've been wanting too, because especially for things like sunrises, like it'd be better to just like set a scheduled time ahead of time for like 4 a.m. to start recording, to start the capture. So that's what this is about, is being able to automatically start the capture when you set it, rather than having to like get up in the morning and start it yourself. I'm also planning a redesign of the manual capture view. It's going to have the ability to change the overlay frame. So currently, right now, it's automatically set to the end frame, which someone had actually contacted me about this, and they said that, well, they actually want it to be the first frame, because otherwise there could be like move in it. Like, unless you know where the first frame is, you don't really know where to set up the rest, and there might be drift over the period of the time lapse. So hopefully this will solve that. And then overall, I'm going to try and improve the user experience and workflow. So right now it is a little bit clunky. I mean, there's some, it's kind of more in an MVP state right now. And I kind of don't really know too many people so far that are actually using the manual capture view. Excuse me. Okay, I think we disconnected there, but we're back. Okay. So, I'm also planning a Velocity Lapse newsletter. So, this is for those who want to receive periodic development updates, tutorials, and other information related to mobile time-lapse photography. So, be on the lookout for the forum on the website. I'm not really sure when that's going to happen. I haven't really thought too much about it yet, but I do want to do that. So, I'm also going to be looking into raw file support. So, there's been a few requests for this. This is also something that I like myself. So, I'll be looking into adding raw/DNG file support for capture. So, I can't promise anything though, because only certain devices support raw capture. And I only actually have access to one right now, and that may not even allow third-party developers to access it. That said, the way that I see this looking is possibly a RAW plus JPEG option. So like, it will always capture JPEG just for the editor, because I'm probably not gonna do the RAW to JPEG like conversion for the editor. So like, RAW is gonna be something that you're gonna have to put together on like your laptop or something, because the app probably will not support exporting that to video. At least not in the short term. Maybe in the long term, we'll see how it goes. So, I'm also going to be, as I said before, working towards stability and improved reliability. So, I'm going to work to fully eliminate capture and export issues and crashes. This is really difficult because I only mainly have access to Samsung devices, so other off-brands are really difficult for me to test. It does seem like some of the export issues might have to do just with people selecting resolutions or bit rates that their phones don't actually support. Gonna see what I can do about that, but I'm also going to be going forward a bit more focused on improving the existing features rather than adding new ones. So I think at this point it's probably a good idea to start working towards a more stable app, and in order to do that I can't necessarily be adding tons of new features. I kind of need to work on the ones that we already have. And overall, I think that the features that it has right now is probably pretty good for most use cases. That doesn't mean that I won't accept other requests or implement them as I see the need, because after all, I mean, I'm not against new features. I'm just saying I'm going to be more focused on existing features. So, I mean, if there was anybody actually watching this, at this time, I would ask for questions or comments. But I don't think anybody is here, so I guess that would be it. I just have to say thank you to everybody that's purchased the app, that's supported this. Well, yeah, thank you. Thank you for 1 year of Velocity Lapse, so we'll see you later.